Well, everybody, it's me and Biggs on Memorial Day, and let's not lose sight of what Memorial Day is. Memorial Day is about the brave heroes that lost their lives for the freedoms that we get to have today, and especially in this day and age, I think we need to remember that more and more. We certainly see people that just don't give a shit, but we do here, and I think everybody that watches any of our videos does also, and the ones that don't, I won't use the word, but let's just, you know what I meant by it. So let's go look at everything. Happy Memorial Day. So we got 18-degree max pulls here. We got a 20-degree max pull on that also. You won't be able to see the difference. The head flow is the same. It's just at 20 degrees, so the intake valve angle is at 20 degrees to make it legal for some sanctioning bodies. But that's what's nice about here. You know, we can do whatever we want. So when they made a rule against us, they made a 20-degree rule. We just moved it to 20 degrees. And all it does is just takes a different intake rocker system, which is not a big deal. All that stuff comes in T&D or Jessel. You can see some billets right here. We actually think we ordered 26 or 30 of those billet pieces. Each one of those billet pieces is a half of a big 9 manifold. They come in, they're 126 pounds. It's each one of those ingots. When they're finished, each one of those halves will weigh 8.5. And then so 8.5 times 2 is 17, which makes a big 9 manifold. Yeah, so that's what those are for. So those will be running on this machine pretty quickly, or if Joey decides to put them on here. I'm not really sure which one he's going to put them on. So this is our CID head right here. So this is getting ready to have a lightning program gone through on this. This is a new cylinder head that we do. This is a 10-degree by 4-degree cant. But this was a customer came to us, and it's a road race deal in Australia, but it's only 340 inches, so we couldn't put the same cylinder head that we do for super late models that are 440 inches. It's 100 cubic inch less. So we have a different exhaust port for it, a different intake port for it, so different cross sectional areas, different valve sizes. Everything is different about this, and it's made for this application. So it's an oval port, you can see. It's an oval port. It's a really fast port. So not too big over the short turn, so it'll be good on restarts. And the other thing is the exhaust port's not too big because 340 cubic inches, we can't make it too big. If we do, they won't accelerate. You know, I can't begin to tell you how important that is to not get the exhaust port too small. And that means the areas. The flow numbers are fine. Really, on the exhaust side, shape is more important than flow numbers, and understanding those shapes and those areas are what will make it accelerate and run on the track. So that's why we have 4 different exhaust ports, 4 different intake ports, and we can mix, match, and do whatever we want to make sure we get what you need. This is a set of Northeast modified heads right here. Is for an engine builder that does a lot of super late model stuff. I'd say that in my mind there's 2 of those super late model builders that are probably the most respected, and this is one of them. So we're honored that he decided to build his engines with our cylinder heads. We won't mention the name. I think it would be kind of tacky, maybe even rude. And then let's go over here, Babe. Okay, so we have these right here. So this is a set of, it's not our ports. The customer bought these cylinder heads, and then and they had some issues with them. This is John's CID casting. Nothing wrong with the casting. Nothing wrong with the casting at all. I brought the seat out. As you can see, it has all new intake seats in it, okay? So the reason why it has all new intake seats in it is because the intakes completely wore out in a very short amount of time. And they shouldn't wear out. The reason why it wore out is because our competitors put cheap seats in. They put an $18 seat in. That's what this is. When you purchase this, you send it to the metallurgist. It comes back as simple brass. Simple brass. Okay? This doesn't work. You put an $18 seat in it, or you put a $70 seat in it. When you come here, we put the better seat materials in. Everybody's, oh, MBE, there's so much money. BS, we don't put the $18 seat in. So basically, when you put all these good seats in it, compared to putting cheap seats like this, it's about $700, $800 extra. Basically, our stuff is that much more. It's just in the seat material. That's all you're paying for. But the valves will last 10, 20 times longer. And this customer saw the value in it. So we're fixing this stuff up for him, and it broke some things. But Ian will have this stuff looking brand new. It'll be better than it was new, and then it'll represent John at CID's casting the proper way. We have that, and then we got Big 9 over here. And so got the valley tray finished for this, so this is just about finished. You saw that material over there. So this material, that material over there will be an intake manifold for him in the next week. I would say probably 10 days we'll have it finished. We're going to make a run of the Big 9 intake manifolds, so we'll have them on the shelf. Crazy how we go through those, but you know, the stuff that runs good, the stuff that works is the stuff you go through, because word gets out. So anyways, so nice. All this O-ringed on the back side of the valley tray. Just really, I think it's beautiful. It's really nice. The way the water is with the dash 8 lines just makes it nice and clean. And then you can see that it's all O-ringed, so you don't have to worry about leaking vacuum and things of that nature. And then everything fits perfectly. And of course, we supply all the bolts and everything, cadmium coated for the 3/8 and the 5/16 ones, and then these are all stainless. And we also use stainless washers, so nothing rusts. And then let's go in here. Let's put this back. This goes in the what we call the miscellaneous crap. So this can go anywhere because we'll never put it in. And then got stuff in line to work on. You know, guys do a great job of getting stuff out. We got a set of our wedge heads right here. It's our 13-degree drag port right here. So this stuff is finished. So we'll be assembling this stuff very, very quickly. Here's this gentleman's valley tray with your stainless fasteners. So everything's nice and clean. So this has stainless fasteners that hold it on here. So not the cadmium coated ones. But everything comes in. It's nice and organized. Do the lightning on it. Certainly, you know, makes it look good. And then, of course, the billet manifold. And then, so actually have a proper manifold for a wedge style setup that has enough cross-sectional area. A lot of the stuff out there is just not big enough. It's not even close to big enough. And bigger does not mean slow. You know, it needs to fit the application better. And it's surprising as the cubic inch goes up, and especially the RPM, how big the plenum needs to get. But we learned that on the cup side. Back in the early 2000s, the cup guys within a year and a half went from 9,300 to 10.2, and you couldn't keep up fast enough. And one of the ways to keep up was to keep making the plenum larger and larger. And those are only on 358 cubic inches. So luckily we were involved in a lot of that development, especially two of us here, that we were able to learn on their dime. And we had to learn because you can't make, they're not going to buy anything that's not any good. So we had to be better than what they were doing in-house. And we did a lot of that, but I tell you what, it's really helped over the years to help with all this manifold stuff. And I really believe that's probably one of the main reasons why the manifold stuff has become so successful. And then we got some stuff in here to be serviced. Oh, we got a test head over here. So this is our symmetrical head. So this is another new port for it. So in the end, we'll have 3 different intake ports for it. This is the second one right here. So this is a new drag port that we're doing for it. And then we have our new casting with the full flange, and then we have the billet manifold for this. So the same billet manifold that you saw for our billet cylinder heads fits on this new casting of ours. So very excited about this new casting. 1-piece rocker bar. You got an intake port that flows a real 480 CFM on a 1020 bench. So on a 600 bench, it probably goes around 490. But this is fast and not lazy. This thing is very fast, which it needs to accelerate, especially in NA deals and things like that. Very excited about this. This will definitely be a new improvement to our symmetrical heads that we sell. This will be a big improvement. So you can see how small we get the ports, so we can make them exactly how we want them. So a lot of extra machining, but in the end, the customer gets what he pays for. So, and then let's go in here. And then this is just stuff to be serviced right here. We know that we didn't CNC port those because you can look at the color of the seats. So those were CNC'd somewhere else because we would never put those seats in. But they're here for service, and we'll make everything nice for them in the end. And then we have some more over here. So just lots of stuff. Oh, we did these because these have copper beryllium. So we did do these. So I remember doing those. Those are for Steve Williams, Division 7 guy, wins a lot. Him and his daughter race. She races super stock. I think she'll be in one of the other cars pretty quickly, because she definitely has the need for speed. And then another set of 5-inch 4-space heads right here. And then, yeah, these are actually 5-inch 4-space heads right there too. And that's it. So everybody, I hope everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend, and you enjoyed ourselves, and you enjoyed yourselves. And thank you everybody for joining us. Bye-bye.